pleasure of introducing our next speaker, a wonderful teammate of ours, Colleen Greene. So a little bit about Colleen before she gets started. Colleen Greene is a graduate of the University of Michigan. She joined the University of Michigan as a staff member in 1996 as a wellness coordinator for MHealthy, the University of Michigan's wellness and risk reduction program. Colleen has been quoted in several national as well as local publications on employee wellness and has even been interviewed live on Good Morning America. She has spoken at several nationwide conferences on stress management, physical activity, and wellness programming. So we are thrilled to have you with us today, Colleen, and I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Melissa. How's everyone doing? Hopefully not a little bit sleepy after lunch. Okay, well, we're gonna have a good time today, I think. Please feel free at any time. You can ask questions. You can come off mute if you'd like. You can put them in the chat. But we are going to be using definitely the chat in a little bit. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, hopefully everyone can see that. It's improving the culture of wellness in your school. So our objectives today are to define self-care and how and why we should take time for it, to determine what staff wellness is and how we might improve the culture of wellness among our staff, and also to find ways we might improve the culture of health in our entire school. So I think many of you saw this before. We call it the philosophy of well-being, and it just shows that there are different areas or dimensions of wellness. And in each one of these, there are several different things. So for example, under physical activity, there's both physical activity, of course, and nutrition, right? There's mental and emotional, there's environmental, there's financial. The thing you want to remember as a wellness champ is that different people may be working on different areas of wellness. So when you're talking about wellness programming, which we'll get to in a little bit, you'll want to make sure that you're doing the things that more of the people want. Right? It may be what you're working on, it may not be what you're working on, but we do have this philosophy of well-being for you. And by the way, of course, this presentation, as with many of the others, I believe, will be available to you afterwards. So I do have this and some other links in here, so you'll be available to access those after today. So what is self-care? We're going to do a little poll here. Can everybody see the poll? Okay, I'm trying to see if I can launch this. Relaunch poll, okay. So, can everyone see that self-care poll now? All right, let's go ahead, take that poll. It's all anonymous. Just go ahead and take that poll. We're gonna see how people do. What do you think is self-care? All of the above, look at that. It's all of the above. Okay, anyone else? We've got 46%. Participating. Yeah, there we go. People are getting back into it now. Excellent. Good. 66%. We're almost there. We'll just do a couple more. Good. Okay. 80%. All right, we're going to go ahead and end that poll. And I'm going to tell you, it was a trick question. Because your self-care is what you say it is. It could be something from this poll. It could be something completely different. It could be everything from this poll. It could be nothing. Okay? So the thing I want you to remember in terms of self-care is that it's your active participation in enhancing your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health and quality of life. So that means you have to make time for that. It's not something that's just going to happen. It's not something that you should say, oh, look, I have a couple minutes here. Let's do this. It's important that you make sure and plan the time for self-care. Why should we practice self-care? Well, a lot of different reasons, but here are just a few of them. To prevent illness, right? It's always important, but even more so in this day and age. To restore balance in our lives. Work-life balance, let's just think of that for a moment. You're all teachers. You have terrible work-life balance because you're always working. So we want to make sure you're taking some time for yourself because that's very important. Self-care can help reduce negative effects of stress. It can help us reconnect to ourselves. It can help prevent us from feeling overwhelmed. We're going to do something here. It's called a chat waterfall. All right. So we're going to answer this question, but I'd like you to put your answers in the chat, but I don't want you to send it yet. Okay. So everyone put your answer in the chat. Don't send it yet. Just type it in there. What's one of the first signs that you're not practicing self-care? You all know. So don't send it yet. Just put it in the chat. I'll give you a moment here. And then when I say the magic word GO, we're all going to send it at once. Okay, go. What's one of the first signs that you're not practicing self-care? See how that populates? Yes. Horse, right, exactly. All of this, exhausted, poor sleep, my body starts to fall apart, feeling overwhelmed, tired and fatigued, stress. Exactly. So the important thing here is that you recognize the signs that you're not working on self-care. So first thing is recognition, right? Then the next thing we have to do is take action. So what are some things that we can do for self-care? Well, we could take intentional and mindful breaks. And again, the important words here are intentional and mindful, meaning it just shouldn't happen. Take your time and plan it. If you need to put time in your schedule for me time or, busy, whatever you need to do, take that time. And when you're taking that break, it's not I have to run to the restroom. Okay. I have to run get a drink of water. Those aren't mindful breaks. Mindful breaks, we're going to get into mindful in a moment, but it's thinking of what's happening in the moment. Okay. You'll hear me say that quite a bit throughout this. Find some novelty in daily routines. There are things we do every day. Don't let them become humdrum and boring. When you make your coffee in the morning, dance around the kitchen, especially if it's at school. That would be even more fun for your colleagues. But what kind of novelty can you find in your daily routines? Get a change of scenery, even if it's down the hall. Maybe in the middle of the day, you can't get out for a walk, but maybe you can walk down the hall and see someone else, or just walk up and down the hall for a little bit of exercise. Try to get a change of scenery. Take your time to shift your attention to your body. Exercise regularly. Do some desk stretches, which we're going to get to later. How do you feel? Everybody right now, just take a second. How are you feeling right now? When's the last time you took any time to think about how you actually feel, right? Engage in mindful eating. Mindful eating is super simple, and all it is taking your time. Let's take an example. How many of you remember, let's see, today is Wednesday. How many of you remember what you had for lunch on Sunday? You probably about 3%, because we didn't take our time and eat. We shoved it in because we had things to do and we had to get going. We knew we were hungry and we just ate and left. Take some time for mindful eating. Take your time to enjoy the sight, the smell, the taste of your food, and make sure that you're enjoying that time. And mindful eating, particularly in meals with your family, is a perfect time to re-engage with your family. Instead of people watching TV or being on their different electronic devices, take the first few bites, the entire family, slowly relax, and then you can go ahead and engage. Another way of self-care is learning how to say no. It's not selfish to say no. There are times when it's absolutely necessary for your wellness, for your well-being, in order to say no. So just make sure you're able to say that. Learn how to connect with your inner child. Have some fun. I mentioned dancing earlier. What other things can you do for fun? Make things fun, not just for you, but for your family, for your students, for your colleagues. Fun never goes out of style. It's always there. People always enjoy it. If you need to, please feel free to talk to a counselor. In the past, there were stigmas attached to this. Absolutely not. Go to your EAP, your Employee Assistance Program, talk to a counselor, talk to a trusted friend. Make sure you're connecting with someone. That's incredibly important, especially in these times, that we understand we are not alone. We're all in this together, and we need to make sure that we're letting each other know that. Here are some different things that you can do. Stop overthinking, keep a journal, drink more water. There are a million different things. Just like when we knew before that we were not practicing self-care, we can look at the things that made us feel why we're not practicing self-care, and you do the opposite. That's self-care. So if you felt you were tired before, rest. That's self-care. If you felt you weren't eating well before, take time to mindfully eat. That's self-care. And the importance of self-care is that if we don't take care of ourselves, nothing else is going to happen. I do a different presentation where I ask folks about their top 5 priorities in life. And I ask them to sort of write them down. And then I ask folks to raise their hand if they put themselves in their top 5 priority. And I rarely get more than 1 or 2 hands. You must put yourself in your top 5 in terms of priorities. If there's anything you get from this today, please get that you are worthy enough to be in your top 5 priorities in life. Also, if you're not well, how can you go ahead and handle any of your other priorities? It's very important, okay? So we've got another poll for you now. Here's mindfulness. Let me pull this poll up. Okay, can folks see that poll? All right, mindfulness. Let's go ahead and answer that poll. What do you think mindfulness is? Okay, we're getting a few folks in there participating. Good. I think I might have made these either too easy or you all are just too smart, because the last one and this one, y'all are getting them right on. It's awesome. Okay, we'll wait just a few more seconds here. Okay, excellent. End the poll. I'm going to share the results. So most of you said all of the above. Some said being aware of your surroundings. Some said being in the moment. Absolutely. There are a lot of different things for mindfulness, but here's the specific definition. Intentionally being in the moment and experiencing things without judgment. So a couple of words I really want you to pay attention to here. The first is the word intentional. Intentionally being in the moment, not just because you happen to be. Work at it. Take your time, practice being in the moment. It's difficult for all of us, but one of the things that we do most frequently is we cause ourselves undue stress because we're always thinking about what's next. What's due tomorrow? What about next week? What do I have to do this weekend? How about next month? Oh my goodness, the holidays are coming. What do I have to do by then? Take some time to just enjoy the moment. You'll find yourself relaxing. You'll find your breathing start being a little bit deeper. You'll find that you experience things on a deeper level. The other thing is you want to make sure that you're experiencing these things without judgment. We tend to judge ourselves very harshly. And what I just want you to understand is that we want you to give yourself some grace. This is a difficult time, really difficult. And people like us who have who are lucky enough to not have to deal with some of the things you all deal with every day, we can just help you, but you deal with them every day. So give yourself some grace. There are some things we're all going to have challenges with. That's all right. Relax. Everybody right now, just close your eyes and focus on your body and your mind. How do you feel? Are you tired? Are you tight? Are you happy? Are you anxious? What do you feel? Okay, go ahead and open up your eyes. We just practiced mindfulness right there. The word mindfulness tends to kind of freak people out and they say, oh no, that's not for me. I'm not doing that kind of thing. You just did it. And hopefully you feel a little bit better because you did. So let's take some time to do that in the future. We're going to do a few more stress management techniques because being mindful is absolutely one of the easiest and best stress management techniques there is. But we're going to give you a few more. The first one is just a simple way of breathing. So people recognize, I'm sure, when you are stressed, you breathe more quickly and more shallowly, right? So what we want to do is literally pay attention to our breathing to start. And that's what we just did. The next thing we're going to do is practice a different kind of breathing technique. And this is just 5-count breathing. And this one I use every time I'm having difficulty falling asleep. What you do is you breathe, inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. Okay, so let's all try it together and I'll count. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's not completely changing the way you're breathing, it's just focusing on it a little bit. And then what you can also do, sort of an added layer, once you've got that down, is you start to bring yourself to the moment and see how your body feels. One of the reasons many of us, there are lots of reasons, but one of the reasons many of us can't sleep is because we're tight. Our mind's racing. It's not in the moment. So when you start this kind of breathing, you can also pay attention to your body. So you could start from the head down or go from the feet up. And as you exhale into different parts of your body. If I asked you right now, many of you might say, oh, I'm not tight at all. No part of my body is tight. But once we went through some of this, which we're going to do in a moment, you tell me if you feel like we found a part of your body that might be a little tight. So we're not going to do all the different parts of the body. I'm just going to have a couple and we'll do the breathing into that area. So let's start with your abs. Okay? And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's move up to the shoulders. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's move up to the face, including your jaw. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you go through this, you'll notice as you exhale, you'll begin automatically almost exhaling into the muscle group. And you can even help by picturing a knot untying as you exhale. And it will help you to relax. Okay, any questions on that breathing one? Okay, how about time? Oh, all of us have lots of time, right? No worries, we have all the time in the world for everything we need to accomplish. Oh yeah, not so much, correct? So we're going to do another piece of mindfulness here, and this is called taking a time out for you. So what I'd like you to do, please, is go ahead and sit with your feet flat on the floor. And just relax and close your eyes. Have you ever driven somewhere and gotten there and had no idea how you got there? This happens to many of us. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a time out from time. Once you become more aware of the concept of time, you become better at shifting it. Oddly enough, if you really want to accomplish more or speed things up, you have to slow them down first. Moving slowly can be the doorway to being in the present moment. By slowing down, you'll become more relaxed, clear-minded, and be able to trust your intuition. So we'll start by practicing slow motion movement. Just take your time now and become aware of your normal breath pattern. Don't have to change it, just become aware. Now, with your eyes still closed, pretend that you're washing your hands very slowly. Move your hands slowly as if you're massaging the front and the back of your hands. Good. Focus on that sensation. And relax your hands down. Now, attach your mind to your breath and simply watch your breath with your mind's eye. Let go of past thoughts, things that have already happened. Let go of future anticipations, things that have not even happened. Feel the strength of being right here in the moment. Practice bare attention. Notice the raw sensations of the present moment. Any feelings of warmth or coolness, pressure or ease. Notice how the weight and shape of your body shifts each time you breathe. Cultivating an awareness of the present moment will foster a more serene and attentive mind. Now begin to recognize the depth of your inhalation and exhalation. Is it deeper than before? Are you breathing more slowly? Now perform 5 audible exhalations as if you were blowing out candles on a cake. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Move back into your normal breath pattern and slowly open your eyes. So this is something we can do every day. Brushing your teeth, you can do using this kind of technique. Just being in the moment, feeling the sensations, feeling yourself relax. Instead of brushing the teeth and making mental lists of the 87 things you have to do before noon, brush your teeth and just relax. What a better way to start the day, right? Instead of starting stressed, we come from a place of strength, of relaxation, of I can do this. This is a power I have. Okay, any questions on being in the moment on that? So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. I know you've done several different things today that involve movement, but as it's so very, very important, I'm going to do a few different things right now, and we call these desk stretches. So feel free to join in. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to stand up. Okay. This one I think we've done earlier, but it's so very important. I'd like folks to do it. We're going to hinge at the hips. Just come on down, feel this, especially in your hamstrings. Good. Go down as long, as deep as you would like to. Now continue to breathe. Very important. Breathe. Good. Come on up. Excellent. Thumbs up. I'd like you to bring your arms out to the side and just pull back, feeling this here in your pecs with those thumbs up. We work with our hands in front of us most of the day. This area tends to get tight. So let's go ahead and just loosen that up and breathe. And we're enjoying the sensation. So we're going to that point of slight discomfort, but never to the point of pain. Now come forward, thumbs down, pull back, and maybe slightly up. This one you're going to feel in your biceps, right? Feels good. Enjoy the sensation. And relax. One arm across, look that way. So if your right arm is across, you're going to look right. If your left arm is across, you're going to look left. And again, just feel this. You should mostly feel this in your deltoids or shoulders. And let's switch. Now, normally we hold these for 15 seconds, and that's great. But you know what? If you don't have 15 seconds, that's okay. Just do it. People tend to not do some of these stretches because they say, I don't have enough time. Relax. Now we're going to do a couple more. I'm going to have you sit back down in your chair. And what I'd like you to do is I want you to take one hand, palm down on your chair, and sit on it. Okay? Other hand is very gently going to push the opposite ear to the shoulder. Don't bring the shoulder up. Just bring this down. You're going to feel a nice stretch on the side that you're sitting on that hand. So again, just go to the nice point of discomfort, but never pain. And back up. Other hand, palm down. Let's sit on that. Other way. I don't know about you all, but this feels great to me, which means I have not stretched it enough. Okay, so you're feeling that in the side, right? Okay, one more time each side. Hand down, sit on it. This time, we're going to take the chin and go to 45-degree angle and come down. So you're gently pushing the chin down to the chest. You're going to feel this a little bit more in the back as opposed to the side. So another good stretch, in the area we tend to have tight a lot for a variety of different reasons. And up, and again, sit on the other hand, 45-degree angle, and down. Keep breathing through. And head up. And the reason I say breathe through, it's so funny, but over the more years than I care to mention that I've been in this field, we have found that folks tend to hold their breath when they stretch. And I have no idea why, but it's just a thing that happens. So I always continue to tell people, remember to breathe. Okay, so on this slide here, we're going to go back. I'm going to share here. Okay, there we go. So those stretches and others can be found on this webpage. So if any of you are interested in those, some of the various ones that both Craig and I have done today are on that page, and you can find more. Okay. Any questions on these stress management techniques? Okay, we're going to do another chat waterfall. Another thing we don't do in self-care is sometimes we just don't choose joy. Yes, it's been difficult. We know that, but let's choose joy. So right now, put in the chat box, don't send it yet, but put in the chat box, and what activities do you love to get involved? Don't send it yet, just type it up in the chat. And what activities do you love to get involved? Okay, go, send them. Look at all this, I love it. Look at all these wonderful things that bring people joy. And I can just see on people's faces as they're looking at these, they're smiling, they're bringing themselves joy. Look at all these different things that bring people joy. I love it. Heidi, you have my heart. Anyone that is a dog lover, I am also a dog lover. I'm the crazy person that if I see you on the street, even if I don't know you, by the time our interaction is finished, I will know the dog's name. I may or may not know yours, but yes, absolutely. Great. So that's a great way to do it. We're going to do another chat waterfall here in terms of choosing joy. Again, just put this answer in the chat. Don't send it yet. Who or what brings you positive emotions? It could be people, it could be places, it could be things. So don't send it yet. Who or what brings you positive emotions? People, places, or things. Okay, go ahead, send. Family, kids, Lake Superior. Okay, Nate, go blue. That also brings me joy. Trips to the lake, family, excellent. Family and social change, Jasmine, you've got it, absolutely. Look at all these wonderful answers. See all the ways that even in these difficult times we can choose joy? Same thing, another chat waterfall. What relationships bring you joy, hope, and support? So what relationships bring you joy, hope, and support? Don't send them yet. Give folks a moment. Okay, send. Excellent. Co-teachers, my wife, sisters, families, students, and animals. I love this. Family is a big one there. Absolutely. Self-relationship, great one, Jasmine. I love that. Look at all those wonderful ways that we can choose joy, even in these challenging times. I think we have one more. Okay, last one. To what are you looking forward in the next, I don't know, month, 2 months, 6 months? To what are you looking forward? Now the chat waterfall. To what are you looking forward? Okay, go. Winter break, Disneyland, traveling, peace, love, and happiness, Florida. Oh, this is great. Excellent. Christmas crafting. Finishing a spiritual journey I'm on. Oh, wow. These are great, everyone. Really good. So the focus of this is choosing joy. It's been a tough, over a year and a half now, right? There have been times when it's been really difficult to find joy. But in order for us to practice self-care, it's something important. We need to find ways that we can choose joy. So as we move forward, try to remember there's something that you can do that will make you choose joy, even if it's just a thought or a memory. So that will help with self-care. Okay, so before we go on to this next poll in staff wellness, any questions on the self-care portion? Okay, I see something in the chat. Moving on. Okay. All right, so let's do another poll here on staff wellness. So let's pull that up here. I'm going to launch that poll. What are some ways you can get people involved in staff wellness in your school? Any of these suggestions? What do you all think? Staff wellness is very important. We're Project Healthy Schools, and we're here for staff wellness as well as student wellness. Good, going. There you go. Cool programs, making it mandatory. We've got about half the people who have completed the poll. We'll give it another few seconds here. Okay, none of the above. Good. What else? Okay, great. All right. So it looks like offer lots of cool programs was the answer. Absolutely. That is one thing. That is certainly one thing. There are lots of different ways, though, and we're going to go over the different ways. We're going to talk about each of these, but I just want to give you sort of the list first. So here are some ways that you can work on staff wellness in your school. Ask others, offer surveys found in the PHS portal, make credible and fun resources available, offer some programming, and of course, use the amazing resource of your Project Healthy Schools wellness coordinators. So let's talk about some of these. The first thing we're going to talk about is ask others. How many of you, and we're going to look at this from the perspective of you starting something, you wanting to start some wellness program and needing assistance, okay? How many of us limit ourselves? Probably a lot. What we need to remember to do is ask across boundaries. Ask other teachers, ask the people in the cafeteria, ask the administration, ask parents. Doesn't matter. Ask custodians, ask whomever. Ask across boundaries. It's very important to get everyone involved because then you get all of the inclusive thought that would go into a great program. Ask for help if you need it. There's a culture of generosity. We actually have a professor here at the University of Michigan. His name is Wayne Baker. He has a book out. I should know it's about the culture of generosity. He's amazing. And his studies show that if you make a request of someone, the person is actually very likely to help you, not just once, but in future asks as well. And many of us tend not to ask because we either feel, oh, they're going to say no because they just don't want to, or they're too busy. Ask. You would be amazed at the amount of people who say yes. And not just today. So you ask them today and they say yes, but you need help again next week or in 2 weeks. Absolutely. Ask them again. It's amazing. The stats are amazing. Make the request of others SMART. You all know SMART goals. This is slightly different, specific, of course, but meaningful to you. So why are you asking them about this specific thing? Why is it meaningful to you? What's important about it? Make the request be action-oriented, right? Realistic, not like, hey, could you donate $1 million? No, not realistic. Well, I don't know, but I assume. And of course, time-bound. Ask the person you're asking how they want to be asked. Do they prefer in person? Do they prefer in an email? How do they want to be asked? Don't apologize for asking. I know for a very long time, I was very guilty of this. I'm sorry, but could you help me do this? Don't apologize. There's now no reason that you should apologize for asking someone for help. And even if you receive a no, absolutely ask again. Because people tend to say yes. If they say no, they assume they have a very good reason, but it's for that one time, right? So the more we ask others for assistance, either in planning the program, even in participating in the program, the better off our programs are going to be. Make credible resources available. So again, here's Project Healthy Schools website, MHealthy website. There are a lot of resources on there. One thing I say credible because it's very important that we're sending out credible resources, because there are a vast amount of resources out there that are not credible. If you need more, and we have a lot of resources available for you, but if you need more, please speak with Project Healthy Schools, ask your wellness coordinator. Your wellness coordinator has a lot of information at his or her fingertips and can give those to you anytime you need. So please start with us and we will give you the credible resources, because again, there's lots of information out there that may not have the background and studies that we thought. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm going to stop sharing a moment there because something, not sure what exactly happened there. So I'm going to go back to my page here. All right. This is an example of something I love to send out to folks. Many of you may know it's the Action for Happiness calendar. I send these out to some folks at the University of Michigan here on campus every month. And it's literally, I think it's actionforhappiness.org is the web page. And every month they come out with something, and New Ways November is just some different things that we can do. And it has to do with happiness and self-care and just being a better human. There are kindness months and so on. So you can see at the bottom, it says happier, kinder together. These are great. I love sending these out. And this is one of the things, I've been doing this for a lot of years. And in the last, I don't know, 3-ish years, I've been sending these to folks. I've gotten probably more interaction from folks just by sending this out than a lot of other things, because it's not judgy. It's not silly. It's just, let's try something. Right. And they also, this website also has some different seminars that they offer and some other different resources. But something fun like this, just, hey, I'm not going to ask you to do anything. I just want you to see this. Hey, here it is for November. There you go. Just those kinds of things are really helpful too, because what we want to do is we want to make sure folks are remembering wellness, because especially as teachers, you probably think of yourselves normally way on down the line, and we want to move that thinking of yourselves and that self-care up to your top 5, right? Okay, so some possible programming, and this is just for staff. Seminars or demonstrations, offer some of those. You may have some professionals in your area that offer, maybe some of you know a personal trainer or a dietitian or someone who would come in and do some seminars or demonstrations for folks. Ask your wellness coordinators. They would be able to help in a lot of different ways, whether doing some seminars or demos, pointing you in the right direction, helping you to see some different resources there. But those are often something that we find folks love to hear about, right? I didn't even know this existed. Oh, I've been doing something and I've been doing it wrong. Look, this is a way to show me that it's right. And it's very simple, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time, because again, we know you all are very busy. This is something in addition, something extremely worthy, but it is an addition. So we're not trying to make you do another 15 hours a week of work, right? There's a program we have called Move, Lose, Maintain. I think it's not quite up on our, and Ben, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if it's up on the PHS portal yet. And Ben is.
Oh, no, but we will have it up there for your viewing pleasure, yes.
Excellent. It's a very simple program. We have often done it, and not that you have to, but we have often done it around this time, because studies show that the average American gains around 5-ish pounds between Thanksgiving and New Year. And this Move, Lose, Maintain is simply, it's almost like a little booklet that you can download. And there's lots of information in there, credible information, things about eating, things about physical activity, and even a place to log your activity, because we encourage people through that program to do it. Now, the important thing is that you can lose or maintain weight. It's not a fast weight loss thing. That's not what we're interested in. We're interested in folks maintaining through the holidays. If you can get through the holidays and you have not gained weight, absolutely, that is a definite victory. Okay, so that will be in the portal coming up soon. You could have some fun physical activity competitions among staff. It could be anything. Talk to your staff, find out what they're interested in. Is there a race? Is there, crunches? How many crunches can you do? Is there walking? Is there a distance? So over a month, can you walk, run, roll this many minutes or miles? Just fun things like that to keep people engaged. And the competition part, we found, is really an important part. It's not just enough to have it. The competition really gets people going, because we have a program here at the University of Michigan. It's called Active U, and we've had it for, wow, I think this might be our 17th year coming up. And we have thousands, literally thousands of people in it every time. And one of the things people say they love most is the competition, because even if it's just fun trash talking to someone else on another team or someone else you're competing against, it's just great fun. And it really gets people going. You could do it as individuals, you could make teams, but whatever. But we certainly, our coordinators can help you with that as well. But there are a lot of fun and easy things that you could do along this physical activity thing. Exercise classes, whether if any of you who are PE teachers or you have PE teachers in the school who might like to teach exercise classes for staff, or bring in someone from the community who is interested. There's also some areas online that offer free exercise classes, but you would do them sort of together. The point is to make sure, if you can, to do some of these things together, because it does help with your sense of community. You could offer a relaxation area. And this, I know that space is a premium everywhere, but is there no closet that there's stuff in that nobody even knows what to do with? And you say, hey, principal so-and-so, if I get this area cleaned out, can we have this as a staff relaxation area? And you don't even have to have much in it. You have, and many of the things that I've seen, and we have several of these around campus here at the University of Michigan, it literally was a storage closet, and they put a comfortable chair in. They put soft lighting, and oftentimes some sort of opportunity for either music or white noise or something like that. So you can either, if folks prefer their own, have their own headsets, you can just offer some different podcasts or websites or things that they can go to relax. And it's amazing, because that's, out of the many things that teachers in particular tend to do during a day, they don't often relax. I think we had maybe a school last year that is offering starting to build a relaxation area. And I think they were one of our grant winners. I'm going to get into that in just a moment. But it's amazing. All of these things are either free or very close to free, but there might be a little bit of money, but we can also talk to that in just a moment. So these are some possible things, and there's a lot of other things that you could do programming-wise for your staff wellness. And again, your Project Healthy Schools wellness coordinators are one of your best resources for any of these. Whether they can do them themselves, whether they can give you the resources, whatever it may be, I would definitely say work with those folks. Now, how about in the school, right? How would you do things in the school? Well, how about some fun competitions? Just like you did maybe with the teachers, you could have some fun run, walk, rolls. Those aren't very difficult to do. There's a lot of different competition things you can do, and make it fun. And I'm sorry if there are any principals here, but I was going to suggest if the students reach a certain level, then the principal shaves his or her head. But you know what? There's a lot of other options that you could choose. I've seen principals dye their hair, like green or pink or something like that, or just make it something that's fun, right? The kids don't even recognize then that they're doing it. And while I'm using physical activity here, it absolutely doesn't have to do this. It could be eating more healthy. It could be working on mindfulness. There are a lot of different competitions in terms of programming that you could do, right? I think a super important thing moving forward is to literally make wellness a part of every day. So in your classroom, in the hallway, etc. And don't use it as a punishment. We've seen, unfortunately, in the past, if a child acted up, they didn't get to participate in gym. They didn't get to go out at recess, whatever it might be. So make wellness literally just a part of every day. So whether it's class time for breathing, so if you folks come in and maybe they just came back after an assembly, we all know things like that, just kids get hyped. Sit them down, do a few breathing exercises. And again, we have a lot of resources for you on that. And then see how they react from there. Or if they're sitting, they're with you for a while, maybe have them stand up and do a few of those desk stretches we showed you. Make it a part of every day. It shouldn't be anything special that you do. It should be a part of every day. It's just, yes, wellness is what we do here. Here we do reading, we do math, we do all these different things, and we do wellness. That's just part of the culture. And the more you make that a part of the culture, the less you even have to think about it. And you'll find that the students are going to get with you and give you some suggestions. Here are some things we'd like to do. And then when you have buy-in like that, there's no stopping you. Absolutely. There's some fun, healthy tastings you can do. I think Jacob, I saw, is on the call. Jacob Robideau, who's one of our wellness coordinators, and he's just done a couple of very fun tastings. I think they did pomegranate and dragon fruit in Detroit. So those are just fun things that you can do to get the kids to try different things. I know when I was a kid, I think if someone had said the words pomegranate or dragon fruit to me, I would have run screaming in the other direction. But not if I had the opportunity to try it in school, as opposed to maybe my parents, who were of course old school, putting it on my plate and saying, eat it and you'll be here until you finish it all. Well, I was gonna eat something called dragon fruit? Oh my goodness, no. So right, make it fun and healthy in school, and you'll start even to see the parents supporting you even more because they see it at home. They see the willingness to try new things. They see the willingness to eat healthy, right? So questions on that? We spoke a little bit about wellness grants before. So some of these wonderful ideas that you all had, you said before in the poll that you were talking about wanting to do awesome programming. And while we'd love all the programming in the world to be free, but say you wanted someone to come in and you wanted a dietitian to come in. They might have a fee, right? So we offer wellness grants. So the eligible schools, and that's the schools 3rd year and up, are available. And the next application window is December 1st through January 31st. And again, you're going to have access to this, and that's the link right there. Anytime, anything wellness related, you can ask for these grants for. And again, I would absolutely talk to your wellness coordinators. We'd like you to work with them because they have an idea of what the committee is looking for in terms of awarding the money. And let me say 2 things to think of when you're doing this. One's creativity, and the other is sustainability. So if you've got those 2 boxes checked when you put in for these wellness grants, you're well on your way to getting some funding for some of your programming. So any questions on those kinds of things? Oops. So we want you to stay connected. And by staying connected, we have an Instagram account. We have a Facebook account. We have a Twitter account. And not just stay connected, but we'd like you to check in. So you've heard all these things about these different algorithms and things. We have found that for a variety of different reasons, it's important that you not only follow us or like us, but you check in. So when you go to your whatever account today, whatever social media account you have, literally just look up Project Healthy Schools. Okay, we have a lot of information there. We're posting several times a day, every day of the week. We're trying to offer some things for you that will help in your programming, that will help not just you, but the other staff, and of course you in terms of the students. So there was something we put in an article, I think we put a little bit ago about working with anxiety in the classroom and how to first recognize if it's anxiety the kid's having, and then what are some possible things you can do, and a variety of different things. So we have a lot of different resources on our social media. So please continue to check in with us on that. Are there any questions you have on anything we've talked about here?
Hi, Colleen. I have a question. This is Ben.
Oh,
I have a question. So we kind of started off with doing some kind of self-care practices. Now, do you suggest that, those of us who need to work a little bit more on including more self-practices throughout the day, scheduling those in, regularly, or using those kind of as needed? So I just tell the difficult situations, so now I'm going to do a self-practice, or should I be doing them, in between first and second hour? I know that's my second hour is a little bit more rambunctious. Should I kind of schedule it in a few minutes in between there? So scheduling or as needed? What's the best way to routinely practice those in a more intentional way?
the question to scheduling or as needed is yes, do both. So absolutely schedule. That's the key thing. No matter what, make some kind of schedule. But right now, for those of you who are not practicing self-care very much right now, start slowly. Don't necessarily, okay, I'm going to do this 3 times every day, because it won't happen. You have to work this into your schedule. So let's say if you're not practicing self-care regularly, let's say if you can do it 4 days a week, at least once a day for 4 days a week. And then you're going to start scheduling it more as you start to feel better and as you start to recognize the benefits of it. So always schedule it. However, there are certainly other times and things that come up when you may need some more self-care. So if you have the opportunity and you can do self-care, absolutely do that as well. So thank you, Ben. Good question. I think there was a question we saw in the chat, specific coordinator assigned to our school. Yes, Heidi had the question about specific coordinators assigned to our school. So what we're going to do after this is we're going to have all of the wellness coordinators contact their schools to make sure that everyone knows who the specific wellness coordinator is. You can, of course, always contact Project Healthy Schools at umich.edu, but your specific Project Healthy Schools Wellness Coordinator will know more about your school and the specifics of your school than anyone else. So we're going to make sure they contact you. And so if anyone else doesn't know, you'll find out in the next few days. We're going to have the coordinators contact you, say hi, ask you how you're doing, maybe give you some of the information here that we've had today, or tell you where it all will be accessible. So yes, definitely in answer to your question, there are specific coordinators for specific schools. Other questions? Okay, so again, my specific contact info is cmgi@umich.edu, and there's the Project Healthy Schools email address as well. So I really want to thank you for your time. I actually am going to stay on for a minute and do something else, but I wanted to thank you all for this because it's a lot of information, and I know, and had I been able to go forever, I probably could have gone for another 3 hours talking about all these different kinds of wellness. But the main thing to take away is self-care, you're worth it. You can do wellness both for your students and for your staff, and one of the easiest ways is just to make it part of the everyday. Okay? So other questions before I go on? Okay, so what we're going to do is actually another form of self-care. And many of you probably have heard of this. This is called progressive muscle relaxation. And we mentioned before that one of the reasons folks have difficulty is because they're literally tight. Their bodies are tight, their jaw, their shoulders, whatever, their back. So what progressive muscle relaxation does is we focus on different muscle groups, we tighten them, we relax, we tighten them again, relax, and move on. And we have found over the years that by doing this, numerous people say, wow, I did not even recognize that that area was tight. So it's when you say to someone that you see they're stressed, oh, just relax. I am relaxed. Why do you think I'm not relaxed? I'm completely and utterly relaxed right now, right? You can't just say that to a person and hope that it works. So this is a way we're going to show you that you can do this for yourself. This is another great way to help yourself relax if you're having difficulty sleeping at night. I would do this maybe a little bit before you went to sleep. Okay, so everybody just go ahead and sit comfortably. And we're just going to do a couple of different muscle groups. And I'll say, tighten the muscle group, hold, hold, hold. Now, when I say the word hold, I do not mean hold your breath. Please do not hold your breath. I mean, hold the tension. Okay, so again, we're going to start with our quads. Okay, up of the leg there. Everybody tighten that muscle group. Tighten, tighten, keep it tight. Keep it tight. Hold it and relax. Okay, let's do the same muscle group again. Tighten those quads, tighten, tighten, keep them tight, and relax. Okay, now again, no holding the breath because we're going to go to the abs next. Okay, so what I want you to do is there's someone that you want to impress coming in the room. You know how you suck in your gut, right? We all do that. So do that, but you have to continue to breathe. All right, so everybody tighten those abs. Keep breathing. Okay, relax. I don't know if you all know this, but as we all did that, we all sat up straight. Our posture was better. That's another bonus. Same muscle group, abs. Tighten, 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 and relax. Okay, let's just jump up to shoulders. Okay, tighten those shoulders. Keep them up there, keep them tight. Sometimes I walk into Michigan Medicine, and this is how I know the kind of day people are having because they're walking around like this. And relax. And again, tighten, 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 and relax. Okay, last one. And I think we did this a little bit earlier, but face including your jaw, because a lot of us don't recognize that we have a lot of tension up there. Okay, so everybody tighten, tighten. This is one of my favorite views. Tighten. I'm going to gallery so I can see the most people. Tighten, tighten, and relax. And tighten, 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 and relax. Okay, so you could see how if you did not recognize maybe that you were tight in a certain area, you got to that certain area and you went to tighten it and you thought, oh, that's already tight. So it's not really helpful to just say either to yourself or someone else, just relax. You really have to go through and make sure that you're being in the moment and you're paying attention to what is tight and then what's the difference between feeling that tightness and relaxation. Okay, so I would do that. If you were saying you have difficulty falling asleep, maybe sit in a comfortable chair and do all the way up or down on your body, and then go ahead and go to bed. And I think you'll probably feel a little bit more relaxed, at least when you try to go to sleep. So that's progressive muscle relaxation. Any questions on that? Okay, and I think now I'm going to turn it over to Grace James.